Here we go again. Breaking news from the CBI laboratory. Yvonne Woods, accused of manipulating numerous cases in favor of the state, is now facing trial. An internal affairs investigation into this matter has revealed that Woods altered DNA and data to benefit the state. The outcome? Potentially innocent individuals may have been wrongly incarcerated to boost her ego. It's disheartening. Remember when Dawn informed you about an ongoing internal investigation? Well, here's the evidence. This doesn't come as a surprise. The methods used to secure convictions and manipulate data to fit the narrative have long been a concern. In the Watts case, I highlighted numerous alterations in the discovery which appeared deliberate. It raises questions about whether CBI analysts trained by Woods employed similar tactics to convict potentially innocent individuals for personal gain. Answers are imminent. Weld County is also reportedly looking into things, but what does that mean for the Watts case? Unfortunately, not much. The case never went to trial. Watt's plea agreement prevented further manipulation of data or DNA results. The limited release of records related to individuals like NK and Watts might now find an explanation. As Rourke steps into the spotlight, we can only anticipate his attempt to distance himself from the situation, likely claiming ignorance. But hey, it's election year.
Crucial DNA data collected, analyzed, and used in important criminal cases spanning more than a decade is now facing scrutiny in Colorado. And now the concern infamous murderers and others could be released from prison after it was revealed that decades of this DNA evidence may have been compromised. Questions are swirling after an internal review found DNA was omitted, tampered with, and improperly documented in more than 650 cases between 2008 and 2023. We do want to bring in now Weld County, Colorado District Attorney Michael Rourke on this. Michael, thanks for making the time tonight.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Michael, let's start with when you first found out about this and what your reaction was.
Sure. We were first notified, we being the elected district attorneys here in Colorado, that the Colorado Bureau of Investigation had identified these anomalies in this forensic scientist's work. We were first notified on November 6th of 2023. And of course, our first thought was she has worked on thousands upon thousands of cases in Colorado. What's the scope of this? What's the impact going to be on our pending cases and past cases that we've obtained convictions in?
I mean, have you ever seen something like this before? How shocking and wide-reaching is this?
This is beyond anything that I think any of us have ever seen. It goes well beyond perhaps simple mistakes in the laboratory to what is being identified to us as knowing conduct on her part.
Why do you think she did this? What needs to be done now?
You know, the why, the answer to the question of why is still up in the air. We don't know because the elected DAs in Colorado, we still don't have the details of exactly what happened. We've received a generalized description of the anomalies, to use that word again, that's what CBI calls it, but we don't know the specifics. We don't know if it was done out of efficiency, if there was some other reason for it, but really we're just waiting to get that information so that we can evaluate our cases both past and present.
Yeah, I know you've talked about the frustration here over the timeliness of communication, and meanwhile everything's in limbo. How many cases does this impact in your jurisdiction alone? I know we talked about the 650 in total, and how do you move forward from this?
She has testified in hundreds of cases in my jurisdiction over the course of, the entirety of her career, almost 30 years. They have identified 85 cases in my jurisdiction that have these anomalies and I keep using that word because that's all we've been told, but 85 cases in my jurisdiction alone have had some sort of impact because of her omissions or knowing conduct.
Yeah, there are two important questions coming out of what you just said there. Bottom line, do you believe that murderers and criminals could be released from prison because of all of this?
I wouldn't go that far. It's certainly a possibility that our convictions may be in jeopardy, but certainly, hopefully, we would have the opportunity to retry those defendants if we get to that point. But I really do want to emphasize, we don't know the specifics yet, and it may impact the testimony that she had previously given in court. It may not, but we need to reserve judgment until we can get all those details and all that information, and we're still waiting for that.
Yeah, and the other important question coming out of that, do you believe it's possible that innocent people could be sitting in prison right now because of this?
We've been told by the Colorado Bureau of Investigation that these omissions or other missteps that she took did not result in any false positive identifications. It did not result in any improper identifications. But again, I just don't know the answer to that question as I sit here tonight, Natasha.
What kind of consequences could she be facing in the future? Do you know?
Sure, certainly there is an ongoing criminal investigation by a neighboring district attorney's office, as well as a investigative law enforcement agency from outside the state. Certainly, this could impact accreditation. It could impact cases like we talked about, and there could be civil ramifications as well.
Yeah, and very quickly, I understand that this happened as the result of a fairly routine audit. Are you concerned that this could be happening in any other states, or does this seem like a one-off, very bizarre case to you?
It's not a one-off because we've already identified one other scientist into the northern Colorado area who had, certainly not to this scope, but also had some other anomalies in her work as well. So we have some real digging that we need to do in the state of Colorado for sure.